the free games on Epic and stuff. Prime.
Not yet. I haven't looked, to be honest.
They got free
I
games
haven't
on
looked.
Epic.
I'll have a look. I'll have a look. I'll have a look after the stream.
Yeah.
Right, let's see. It's changed it back to The Witcher again. I hate Twitch. I really do.
I think Twitch might
Hate
go
Twitch.
downhill.
Yeah, it's 100%. But we'll deal with
We'll
that
get
when
we'll get
we'll
into
come
that.
to it when
Yeah,
it happens.
yeah.
Right,
We'll get to it and we
am I
won't have
live?
anything to say.
That's it. I'm live.
I heard that right. Hello.
I've got to zoom in.
Zoom in. Yeah, make sure it's right. Yes.
Got to get my good side.
No.
Got to get my forehead. Sorry.
Get the whole forehead.
I
Just
do it all the time,
four,
don't
forehead.
I? Sorry.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Bits and Pieces podcast, episode 26. 26
Woo!
episode. Woo!
Woo! 26.
26.
How did we
get here?
We get here. I don't know how we got here sometimes.
Where am I?
As always, I am joined by my two co-hosts, the FreedyShow,
Hello.
and the pizza that is Beth. Hello. Guys.
Hello,
how you
Mr.
doing?
Steve.
Hello.
Good.
We're good,
All
thanks.
good.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm good.
Right. So, if you are, welcome to the, as I said, welcome to the Bits and Pieces podcast. We are a little podcast, but we're trying to grow ever so bigger each time. So, feel free to just download the podcast at any time you like. Go over to Spotify, iTunes.
Share it with your friends and your family.
Yeah, you got SoundCloud as well, and basically anywhere that you can find a podcast, anywhere that does sort of RSS feeds, basically. Yeah. So what do we do? What if you're sort of new to us, you're not really familiar with what we do. We'd like to do what we call a little spotlight, where we pick a game and have a little chat about that, and we give our thoughts. It could be a first impression on the game, or it could be a game that came out maybe years ago as well. The last episode was episode 25, and we even did a bonus sort of spotlight on a game from 1997 because it was 25 years ago. So, there's things like that. So there's things like that we've got. And of course, coming up, we've got some news. We're going to dive into some gaming news. We always end the show with Beth's joke of the week. So hopefully Beth's got a joke lined
They're gonna
up
get
for us.
worse.
They're going to...
The
worst
one's going to get better.
Like
the
the
best ones are always
considering
the best.
considering the one we had last week, I don't have faith in the book I have. But
That was a great joke. That made me laugh.
okay,
We laughed. Oh, we did
And
laugh.
cried. We cried.
Oh, no.
yeah, I thought you cried. I
But-
saw you guys in the corner of your room.
Rocking backwards and forwards. Make it stop.
Oh,
Make it
God,
stop.
no.
No, not again.
Not again.
Yeah, that whole your room is slowly starting to fill up with tumbleweeds. It's got that.
I know, right?
All you can hear is like
Again.
it's like deafening sound of silence. There's nothing worse, is there?
Yeah.
Tumbleweeds. Loads of tumbleweeds. Shh.
Yeah. So anyway,
Tweeting in the background. Right. Sorry.
let's get this show on the go. Let's talk. Let's start off then with our first spotlight. So, who wants to throw their card into the hat this week?
I'm not ready yet.
Beth's not ready. It looks like
I don't mind going. I don't mind going if you don't want to go first, Steve.
Freddie, what you got for us this week then? What game do you want to talk about?
Yeah, so
this
this is
week?
a game I recently completed this year on my streaming channel. I played obviously the Dark Pictures Anthology. I'm not sure if you guys have played the first two. I mean, that was Little Hope, and the first one was Man of Medan. And this is super massive games, and this is the third installment. Now the first two weren't brilliant. The first two were middling at best. The second one, basically, the better played co-op adventures. But this is a horror, choose your own adventure sort of type deal, where you get put in scenarios and you have to make decisions based on what's happening and what situations the characters find themselves in. And this is like a typical horror beats tropey game where it doesn't do anything new in the horror game franchise, but it is still really enjoyable compared to the first two. It is actually how can I say this? The difference is night and day. The House of Ashes is a very polished, very very good horror experience, and as always, they have multiple endings. But unlike the first two, where the bad guys aren't really there, so to speak, sort of an imaginary type of deal, this one's all real, all horror, all monster, all aliens type sort of situation. And Beth hasn't played this, so I've got to try to be careful not to spoil it for her.
Yeah.
And the game basically puts you in charge of 6 characters. That I forget the name of, how memorable they are.
Oh,
But they are well voice acted. The graphics are good. It is a very good experience playing with like a friend. I haven't had the opportunity to play this co-op yet. So I'm hoping one day when somebody buys it, I can play it with them, or they get crossplay. Maybe.
we were supposed to do that at one point, weren't we? But
Yes,
didn't get around to it.
No, but the thing they did, the co-op thing they did had a time limit on it. They released just quickly. They released a code for everyone that owns House of Ashes to play co-op with their friends. But the code they released was like a temporary download of the game, so you could play together with whoever you wanted to. But this game had a month, like a month's time on it, like a time limit.
Okay.
So I tried to redeem it and send it to. At the time, I tried to send it to Steve, and it was like, "This code is no longer available." I was like, "This is great." So yeah, that's that. But it is a really good co-op experience. However, like I said, it's very tropey. The gist of it is basically you're part of a Marine squad that goes into is it Iraq or Iran in the middle of the Gulf War. It's set in the 1990s, like 94, 93, I think. And you basically fall into this like tomb, this Egyptian tomb that has a load of like death and curses and all sorts of nonsense in it. The intro is pretty decent. You play as the historical characters. You think, oh, it's got no relevance to anything, but it does actually play into the story later on. A lot of the story beats do feed into each other, intersect, but you don't get the whole narrative unless you play it through multiple times, depending on your choices. So it's one of these sort of like Road 96 situations, like I said, where the story's all over the shop, but depending on what you do and how you do it, pieces it all together. But it's not as roundabout as Road 96. There's only it's still a linear path. It only dissects at certain points. And usually when there's a Q2E, a quick time event, the characters can die. That is the only time the characters can die. Is a quick time event. I haven't come across any situation where I've just walked into something and then dead in any of the games. So the fear of death only really happens in these high pressure moments where and if you're playing on the hardest setting, you've got to be quick. You've got to be super quick. I completed it on its hardest setting, and
Nice.
I managed to get the best ending on my first try. Um, because I just didn't act like a twat. And that you make basically there's like two options, or there's a neutral option in the dialogue tree, which kind of is a bit basic. You know, it did tickle my irritable bone a little bit when it was like you wanted them to say more than what they were saying, but they would keep it short and sweet, and it'd be really negative, or they'd say you pick a positive option and it'd still be negative, or it'd still be like it would be less negative than the one that's really bad, or the no. And you always know when you pick the no answer, because the camera the character will pause. There'll be like a sound effect, and there'll be a long pause, and it will come up saying blah 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 didn't like that, or blah 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 remember that, or blah 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 now wants to smash your face in.
Or like Telltale.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah, something like that. Yeah, you go into this like if you played the other two, or you played Until Dawn, you got the butterfly effects.
Yeah.
It's basically the same sort of situation. It has a graph, and it says blah blah blah, pick this, blah blah blah, pick that, and it gives you the tree breakdown of what you're doing, what your decisions are, and then you can refer to that to make sure you don't pick the same ones again, so to speak, in your next playthrough. The game's designed to be played through multiple times. It's about 6 to 8 hours of gameplay, roughly, which isn't too bad for you know, it isn't full price either. It was only $34.99 when it came out, and I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure it was even cheaper than that, $24.99. And I think I got it for 15 quid off CD keys on launch day. So you know, it wasn't that expensive. So they're not charging the earth because they know the game is short, but it's short for a reason, because then you can get it back in, and obviously the main objective is to keep everybody alive, or you can get everybody killed, which is a really fun ending, I think. Um,
Mhm.
and then you've got the one where you're middling, where you have one survivor, and you know, try to do the whole horror tropey thing. Only one person survives, and you get all different endings. It's quite good. However, that's the issue I have with this game, is the ending. I really enjoyed it
Mm.
up until the last chapter, and then the whole game just sort of crumbled into dust.
Oh no.
But it's still really good, but up until that point, that all previous chapters are like a 9, 8 out of 10, and you get to the final chapter and it's like a 5. It really drops down um, in terms of story, and the after credit scene completely ruined the game for me. Is that there's stuff that I did that I wanted to see a resolution to that never happened, and it made absolutely no sense whatsoever why it didn't happen. And
Mm.
I was sitting there raging at this ending, because I was like, what is going on? Why isn't this happening? This, that, the other happening? That's not right."
Mm.
And it's sort of, when you experience that sort of ending, you're like, well, when you play for it again, where I was like, oh, there's no point keeping so and so alive. There's no point keeping that alive, because they, you know, their storyline goes nowhere. You know what I mean? It's just like they're like written to a point where they're supposed to die, if that makes sense. But because of your choices, they live. So, but the story narrative, you know, if officially sort of thing, they are supposed to, like, at certain points, like you would in any horror movie. There's always one survivor. There's always it's usually the lead female, or some dopey twat of a bloke who happens to survive because everyone else around him is more intelligent. You know,
Mm.
it's just like it's how it works in these sort of games, playthroughs, horror genres. It's very rare to find an intelligent horror and protagonist, which, you know, I really want to see a horror game where the protagonist isn't like a derp and doesn't like react at the last second and comes up with actual functioning plans. Because there's sometimes they make decisions and you like, what? You know, insert Jackie Chan meme. there. What? What is going on? But for the most part, soundtrack's good, voice acting's good, graphics are pretty good. They're not next generation. It's not a next generation title because it was released on all the platforms. I'm pretty sure it's on the Switch as well.
Oh,
So across the board, so I'm pretty sure it's on everything. The final fourth part of the anthology comes out this year, I think, end of the year. And that
okay.
looks really decent. That's got very much a Saw vibe to it. So
Oh,
that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
yeah.
And it's called The Devil in Me. And that looks pure. That looks like they've listened to all the criticism and all the feedback from the first three chapters, and I think the fourth one is shaping up to be like a final like hurrah send off.
Mm.
But if you're not familiar with the anthology pictures books, there is a massive list of horror stories. So that there will be a season 2, so they say, because
Oh, awesome.
the first 4 games is season 1, and then there's a season 2, which I do believe they have a contract for, and I do believe it's going to get made, because these games have sold well.
Yeah.
I don't know how much they've sold, or I don't have the information to hand, but they have sold really well. And credit the Supermassive Games. After the first sort of 2 disappointing chapters, the third one is so much better. But the ending chapter does take off some points for me. It's a solid 7 out of 10 for me.
Okay.
It is worth adding to your collection on a sale, and if you can play it with a friend, the experience will probably be an 8 or a 9 out of 10. Because
Mm.
obviously everything with friends is always better. So
Yeah.
but that's it. That's my spotlight
Uh,
for House of Ashes.
nice.
Spoiler free.
Spoiler free. I do appreciate that. I do. Because I definitely want to play it myself. Because I don't know if it's still on the Game Pass. Like one of the games.
I think Man of Medan is still on the Game Pass. Little Hope
Okay.
is not. And House of Ashes is not. So I
Okay.
think Man of Medan is only just like a teaser into the series.
Okay.
And again,
So.
that's worth playing as a co-op, which I haven't played co-op. I played it solo and wanted to beat my head for a brick wall afterwards. But it's
Yeah.
it's not that it is that bad, but it'll be like I said, refer to what I said earlier, more fun with friends.
More
you
fun with
know,
friends.
so yeah,
Okay.
but it's worth if you like this sort of adventure type game and you've never played one before. If you've played the Telltale series, then you'll kind of understand what the beats are like and how the game flows. Because it flows very much like a Telltale game, exception that the graphics are a lot better and the people are more realistic. And they all do exactly stupid things, but it's still quite a good. It's akin to those sort of like a modernized version of those adventure books we had when we were kids. You pick up the adventure book, George the barbarian versus the evil one, and you open it, page 1, you stand in front of the cave. What do you do? A, go into the cave. B, go to the pub. C, don't do anything. D,
Yeah.
go home. And then you turn to page 5 if you went into the cave, and there's that sort of thing. So it's it's sort of like that sort of engagement for the player, except it's all lovely in 3D and modernized and sound like it's a game. It's a book,
Yeah.
that sort of adventure style book, but in game form. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Those are old enough to remember those types of books. That's exactly what this gameplay is like.
Oh God, then I
Okay.
feel old.
Yeah, so do I.
Oh
All
yes, I
right.
do remember those. No, my only real introduction to anything like this was Until Dawn. Really, I'd love to get around to picking up some of these. I know that they are, like you pointed out. I know you've streamed pretty much. I would say you've streamed all of these now. If anything,
Mhm.
I
but
think this
yeah,
is a good
Yeah.
segue, to be honest.
yeah. But yeah, I would like to sort of get into just it's time for me, really. It's time and sort of like fitting in my own sort of scheduling as
Yeah.
well. It's just like, yeah, I'll get around to it, but I will get there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Um.
Go, Beth.
No, I was gonna say I'll go next, but you carry on. Finish what you were saying just then.
No, I pretty much am done because I can't really add much to this other than the fact that I have
Okay.
played Until Dawn, and that's
Okay.
and I kind of know where this is going.
Yeah. Yes. So today, this po- today I just gonna today, I'm gonna be talking about Until Dawn.
Oh,
I
yes,
also,
perfectly timed.
is it what's the name of the company? Is it
Super
Supreme
massive, games.
Supermassive
Yeah,
Games? Okay. Obviously they made those
yeah,
Dark Picture
yeah, yeah. I did, yeah,
ones.
yeah,
This I think this is one of the first games that really started off that kind of genre,
yep,
like their little genre in a way,
did, yep, yep,
because they make obviously like they make those games and they're known for making really good story driven choice
yep,
matters games.
yep.
Yeah, so Until Dawn came out in I think 2015,
It did, yep.
and it is about I can't remember their names because it was a while back. Oh, and it was a PS4 exclusive, I think,
It
Until
wasn't
Dawn.
exclusive. Yeah, it was. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
PS4 exclusive.
Um,
Hannah and Beth were the first two characters you introduced to.
Hannah and Beth. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
oh
The,
yeah. Okay.
the sisters. Yeah.
I don't know if I should. I don't know if I
Yeah. I
should
think
go into
people
the
should have
story.
played this. People should have played this by now.
Well, okay. Well, warning.
Spoiler
Just a
warning.
warning. If you've never played this game, then don't listen.
It's also on
Uh,
PC now as well.
okay, I did not
Yeah,
know that.
yeah.
But yeah. So basically, I can't remember a lot about it, but I'll go through what I can remember. So obviously these Hannah and Beth, they I can't remember why they're in. They
They're in
they go
some
to a cabin.
cabin in the woods.
Aren't they? Are they dating? I
And
can't remember.
they're like a group of friends that like they all fancy each other, and they're
Oh yeah.
having like a gather like
Oh
a
right.
gathering, like a supposed to be like a horny teenagers party away sort of thing, where the
Yeah.
blokes are
So
all going to try and play up, make a move. Sorry, Beth, just
no, no yeah.
make moves
Stop.
on.
There's no spotlight.
Sorry, I shut up.
Okay, yeah, so basically, I can't remember how many teenagers there are, but they're teenagers. They go up to this cabin for this reunion, I believe, because I think the last time they went, two of their friends died, or
Yes,
I,
they
I
did.
don't know, I don't know if that happened or if it was after.
No, it was
Uh,
before they happened.
oh
That
yeah,
happened. Yeah,
so
yeah.
they kind of did another reunion just to kind of, I guess, like I don't know, like
Healing, like getting
yeah,
over it,
like a
sort of thing. Yeah,
like healing sort of thing. And they go up there, and obviously they're being teenagers, they're messing around with each other, they're making each other jump, they're playing pranks on each other and stuff like that. And I can't remember like specifics in the story, but what I do remember is that there's a killer. One of the students is the killer, I think. Yes, I think. Yes, one of the students is the killer, and obviously they're killing. Well, basically, like somehow all the students. Well, I don't know if are they students? Should I call them students?
I
They're
think some of
teenagers.
them are. Some of them are.
I call them teenagers. The teenagers they get split up somehow. I can't remember how, but obviously things like the power goes out, and like they have to go and sort that out, and I don't know. So uh, people have arguments, they storm off, then they have to go find the other person, stuff like that. So I guess that's how they kind of split up with each other. Um, so yeah,
Yes,
and
yes.
then the killer guy, I can't, I won't say who it is. I think I know, but he basically, I, d- I remember one of the trap, like he put someone in a trap and it like cut him in half, I think,
Yeah,
or something like that.
yeah, yeah.
Um, I don't know if he done that to the other ones or not.
No.
Um, oh no, so that was the only one. So I can't remember how he even killed the others.
Yeah,
Um,
the guy's called Josh.
I know I was gonna reveal it. So yeah, the killer is Josh, and he's like playing innocent and all this stuff, and also like the story kind of plays in like small chapters because sometimes when you like finish like a section in the game, you appear back at this guy, obviously like the other ones where he's like kind of like a therapist, I suppose, or something like that.
Mm.
And he'd ask you questions of like what you fear and what you don't fear. And they actually, whatever you pick, they integrate that into the game.
Yeah. Yes,
So
they
if you're
do.
scared of spiders or clowns, they'll add that into it.
Hmm.
Which that's one feature that I remember, and I thought
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Fucking
Um,
clowns.
yeah. So I remember that. I remember it being very intense inducing. Is that even a word? Yeah, it's very
Intense and juicy. Yes, it is very. It's
intense
very intense.
inducing. Um,
Very. There's a lot of
right,
tension as well. Builds up tension very well.
yeah, very well. Like with the music
Yeah.
and
Atmosphere.
yeah,
Um,
atmosphere and
yeah.
the graphics for back then, it's like all the
Yeah.
PS4 graphics look fantastic,
That,
and
that,
that's no exception. That looked phenomenal when it came out, and it probably
it
even looks
still
good
does.
now.
It still
I bet.
holds up now. It's still so good. Yeah.
I bet it does. Yeah, so trying to think. So yeah, obviously choices matter. You make choices. Sometimes if you don't like you were saying, Freedy, if you miss a quick time event, your character can die, I believe.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep.
so that's obviously still there, the intense bit of like, if you miss a quick time event, then you can't play as that character anymore.
No. Permanently
Um,
dead.
Yeah. So I remember playing this. I can't remember when I played it, but I found it really fun and I really enjoyed um the atmosphere and the music and all that stuff. The acting was superb.
Yeah.
Um and I gotta say, like I know we talked about it just now, but I will say the visuals are just amazing. Just like it's it's hyper realistic and you know, it's always fun when you see that in games, and especially uh, those guys who do those games. They are always excited to see how their graphics look and all that, and because I
Yeah.
think they're phenomenal.
It's all motion captured as well. I forgot to mention
Yeah.
that. It's
Oh
all
yeah.
motion captured.
Yeah.
All,
Yeah.
all the games are motion captured, and the actors walk around in this little warehouse in
I
cardboard
love
props and chairs and cardboard cutouts of monster faces and stuff. It looks really funny when you watch
I love
the.
watching that.
It's
I
so
love it.
funny.
It
Um,
is very funny. I like watching behind the scenes of that stuff.
yeah,
It's just so
it's
cool.
very good. But
Yes. Oh, sorry.
sorry, Beth. I'll let you.
No.
I'll let you carry on. So
Uh,
I was going to interrupt again, but I'll shut up.
no. What was you gonna say? No,
I
what
know.
was you
I was gonna ask, is there any other monsters in the Until Dawn?
monsters?
Yeah, yeah. But I'll give you a hint. That ends in go.
No. I don't.
First name Wendy.
Wendy? I don't.
Wendigo.
Wendigo.
The Wendigos.
The Wendigo.
You know,
What are
the
they?
undead things that chase them halfway through the game that turn up. It's a plot twist.
I don't remember
Where the Wendigos turn up, and it's Hannah and Beth. They're mutated into these. When the curse of the Wendigo possesses them because they have to eat each other to
that.
stay
Okay,
alive.
I don't remember that.
Oh, okay. The
I
reason
don't
I know
remember.
so much about it is I made a religion of this playing this game every Halloween.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so every
Okay.
Halloween I'll play this game because it's one of my favorite games, one of my favorite
Okay.
horror games of all time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I did the same thing.
I don't want to take over your spotlight, Beth. I
It's
just want to
fine.
clarify a few things.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
the group of friends turn up at the cabin because they're trying to heal and get some closure, but also again they're trying to get to the bone zone with some of these girls, and they all like dislike each other. They all have exes in between the group. They haven't seen each other for 2 years after the events of the earlier part of the game. So when they turn up, they're all very bitter and very annoying. There's one character in particular I absolutely cannot stand. That I make a habit of getting killed as soon as possible because I can't stand her. Um, I can't remember a blooming name. So the characters I do like are Sam and Mike. They're
Yeah.
my favourites, and they're the two protagonists. They're the ones that are literally can only die at the end of the game. There's no other way to kill them. They
Yeah.
can only die right at the end. Josh is a deranged brother. Is basically picked as he has mental issues, and he has some sort of disorder, and he has some sort of like he goes to great lengths to play. Basically, he puts them in a sore environment to play pranks on them all. make them fear for their lives, because he has he's very, very resentful for what they did to his sisters for that prank they played on him that made him leave the house, and because of
Yeah.
that prank, they both died.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
And
remember that.
on this mountaintop, there's a curse of the Wendigos, ancient burying grounds. There's a labyrinth of caves that has I can't the designs of Aborigines. I can't say the name very well. Like tribal sort of stuff. Where they're like the curse of the Wendigo. If you eat people on this mountain, the curse of the Wendigo will come after
Oh,
you.
I don't remember
So
that.
because basically when they both fell, Beth died and Hannah survived,
I
and
did?
Hannah had to eat Beth to stay alive. And when she
No
started
thanks.
eating her, she gets transformed into the Wendigos, and the Wendigos turn up halfway through, like, after chapter 4. Well, you think because the plot twist is the Wendigos show up in chapter 4, and you think, oh, great, the Wendigos are coming, and then you get the whole thing with Josh and the fake saw thing. He's not trying to kill anybody. He does end up punching a few of them and hurting them,
Oh,
because
so
he does actually injure them, but he doesn't kill them.
oh,
The
I thought
whole
he did
scene,
kill them.
no, the whole
Oh.
scene with Josh is fake. He fakes it.
Oh,
He's
that's
so
right.
yeah, he fakes
That's
it.
right. I forgot
Um,
about that.
yeah, so he fakes
Yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah.
and obviously, sorry, massive spoilers by the way. He fakes it,
It's-
and they ended up. So basically, after the Wendigos attack everybody, depending on what you do, how you react, depends on who makes it back to the original cabin. And they then confront Josh because they find out that he was behind it all, and they basically stick him out in the sticks, and then he gets captured by the Wendigos, and there's unfortunately there's nothing you can do about him. His ending is written in stone. So unfortunately, I felt sorry for Josh. I really wanted an option to save him, but there isn't one. You can't save Josh. The other characters I like is Chris, as well. I forgot to mention Chris. Good old funny Chris. He has some really good jokes in the story.
Yeah.
The game's got some great humor and some great moments.
Yeah,
Not just
definitely.
horror, but some great writing as well. All the characters are very well acted. Most of them. In fact, the guy that plays Josh went on to play Freddie Mercury in Bohemian
um,
Rhapsody.
Remy
Yeah.
Malik.
Yeah, Remy
He's
Malek.
Remy
quite
He's
Malik.
now
Yeah, there's.
is now massive. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
he's a master.
and Mr. Robot he did as
yeah,
well.
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gone on to and big thing. And most of them have gone on to do quite well, to be honest. But he's like one that's come out of superstardom. He was also in um he was in the event. He was in one of the Marvel movies as well. I can't remember what he played.
Was
Um,
he? I don't
yeah,
remember
yeah,
that.
yeah. He was definitely in it. I can't remember the name for the life of me. I think it might be in the Eternals. I'm not entirely sure.
I haven't seen that one.
I definitely I know he's in some sort of superhero property, but he's done really well and this game launched his career. This game really put him on the map,
Yeah.
um, and a lot of them did. The
It did.
blonde girl, Jessica,
Jessica.
Jessica, Jessica. The titillation that you get at the start of the game, which is all flirting with Mike, and if you play your cards right, you can actually strip her down to her underwear, which is quite
Yeah, you
funny.
can. Yeah.
Which is quite
I didn't know
funny.
that.
The
That's
freezing
awesome.
Oh,
cold
I did.
mountains in the sex cabin, which she quite happily shouts out to everybody watching, "We're gonna have sex." And what made me laugh was when she invites Josh as well down to the cabin, and she's like, "Yeah, get Josh in," and he's like, "Wait, you serious?" She's like, "Yeah," and he's like, "No, no, no, no." It just made me laugh. Like she's just a
Yeah.
proper player. But she's great as well. She has the worst of it of all of the characters. I think she has the worst death if you mess up. And what's the other girl's name? There's another girl. It's Chris's love interest, Ashley.
Ashley.
Ashley. Yeah, she's lovely as well. And they two have the worst deaths. If you mess
Mm.
up, it's horrible. In fact, I will say this: the deaths in this game are gruesome,
Yeah,
gruesome. I
I've
think the
seen
only
stuff.
one that doesn't die gruesomely is Mike, but he can only die right at the end of the game, right,
Yeah.
literally the last scene if you mess up. Um, but the game's phenomenal. There's obviously multiple ways to play through the game. There's loads of achievements. There's loads of stuff you can do. There's loads of Easter eggs, horror Easter eggs, tropey Easter eggs you can find. There's puzzles to solve. There's collectibles to solve. You've got to find the totems as well. Finding all the totems gives you achievements. The game is littered with just quality content, and the fact that I still sing its praises now because the Supermassive. This is what put Supermassive games on the market, like on the map for top quality. Adventure role playing games, and then they sort of dropped the ball a bit with the. They did a couple of mobile games afterwards. I can't remember the names of it. I think hidden something they did. It was like you use your phone and there's a group of them. It's a very short game, it's like 2 hours long. I can't remember the name of it, but
Oh,
they dropped the
yeah,
ball with it.
hidden agenda.
Hidden Agenda, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah,
it didn't go down too well because obviously
it wasn't great.
on the back tails of this game, you're then like, all right, okay, they're going to bring out more quality games, and then they bring out Hidden Agenda, and it's like, what?
Yeah, I
and then
remember that.
they went. I think they went silent for a while. They made a few middling titles, and then you got House of Ashes was their next big, Until Dawn. They praised it as the next Until Dawn, and the first. Anyway, I'm going off track. The Until Dawn is a great game. Um,
Yes,
you can get it for cheap chips now. I think it's like a £5 or a tenner on PlayStation Plus.
yes,
And
pretty.
I think it's 20 quid on PC. I'm sure some key sites have it for cheapest chips elsewhere. It's a 100%. If you're a horror fan and you love horror games and you want a really good adventure, this game's quite long as well. It's about 10 hours, 10, 12 hours. There's a lot of
I was
content there.
Yeah.
wondering how long it
Can I?
would.
Oh,
Yeah,
can I
Like,
there's
just?
I can't remember that much of it,
Can I
but it
just?
was a great.
Sorry,
Yeah, go ahead.
Beth. No, I just wanted to add because while we were going for the cast, one of the it's really creepy sort of setup, but Dr. Hill was played by the great Peter Stormare, who we must
Oh
mention
yeah.
as well because
Yeah,
he was very good in this. I thought,
he was very
Mm.
like, it's
good. He
very.
creeped me out.
That's what I
He
mean.
creeped
Like
me out.
Yeah.
everything, like as you'd already mentioned, everything was done sort of motion capture, so it was like the actors are playing themselves in the game. Do you know? So it's like you see
Yeah,
the actors' faces. But yeah, Rami Malek, Peter Stormare, obviously Dr. Hill. He was very good in this, and
yeah,
yeah, um,
I was
he
going to get
was.
to the doctor. Yeah.
yeah. But they also brought out the VR as well. There was a VR game
Oh yeah, yeah.
on the back of
Oh
this.
yes, that's where you sit in
You see,
a.
it's kind of on rails, but you're
Yeah,
using your control the
Oh,
VR controls.
guns. You have like guns and you're
Guns, yeah,
there was
shooting.
a prequel as well, wasn't there?
yeah,
There was a prequel VR game, the patient or the impatient.
yeah. That
Yeah,
was
the
right.
prequel VR game. That sets
Impatient.
up. It sets up the tone for the abandoned tunnels, and there was like an asylum there as well. There is an asylum there. I forgot all about the asylum. The asylum, yeah, fuck that asylum,
Whoa.
and
Okay,
boop that asylum. Sorry, boop.
I
Cut it.
did
Cut
not
it. Cut it.
see.
Cut
Cat,
it.
cat.
Cut. I said the naughty
I
word. It's very The asylum was.
okay.
I really hated the asylum because I
And
got lost all the time.
it seems that the impatient didn't do too well, but it's nice to know they're trying to make like backstory,
The
like
the
connect it
rumor mill
together.
is that once the House of once the oh no, it's a segue into something else. I'm sorry, Steve. Let's get to you. Just in a roly mo. They are going to be making a Until Dawn 2. That is confirmed. They're making an Until Dawn 2. So once I'm pretty sure Supermassive Games have said either they're going to or they want to. In
Yeah,
a few interviews, the cast obviously they're looking to bring back some of the cast members. Um, you know, because obviously you always in the sequel you always have the surviving cast member, don't you, from the previous previous story to kill off in the second one, or help carry him through and then kill him off at the end. That's always happens. Always happens. 100%. They're like, no, no, come after me. Go, go, go. You must live. I must die. And yeah, I just wanted to say that if they do make a second one, I really hope it's hard task to surpass this game. This is the pinnacle of horror in video games. I don't think anything comes close to how good this was or still is.
yeah,
In terms of like character choices, acting, the setup, the scenery, the atmosphere, the whole thing just gels together so well. And it's one of those rare games where everything just clicks. The cast, the writing, the art direction, the cinematography, the sound design. Everyone that works in this game was on top of their game um, with this, and it doesn't help that every single one of their cast members is practically a model, super good looking. So they're easy on the eyes as you're
Yeah.
walking around getting them, watching them die, or getting them killed. So yeah, I'm gonna shut up now because I've been talking way too long, and we need to get on with this. It was Mr. Steve who's been waiting
Yeah.
patiently to
Just
tell us
to
his one.
just to finish off, I just want to say that it's I love the game, and I recommend you pick it up. I know Freddie said basically summed it up for me.
Sorry.
So no, it's cool. But yeah, so pick it up if you're a horror fan, 100%. Right, Mr. Steve, you're up next.
Hey,
shut
I'm
up,
up
Freddie.
next. um, no, that's good. Good stuff. I'm glad someone brought that into the mix at some point because it's like we say, we have occasionally we use benchmarks to go to, and that's a good go-to game sometimes if you want to describe a game. And this is nicely segues into this what I'm about to talk about because Have a Nice Death is what I've been playing recently. It is from Magic Design Studios and published by Gearbox Publishing. It is a super single-player action roguelike 2D platformer, and it's got a great aesthetic as well. It looks good. It is similar to, and this is why I mentioned about the benchmark. It's very similar to Hollow Knight. If you're familiar with Hollow Knight, the side-scrolling hack and slash type game, that 2D platformer. I think Dead Cells as well also springs to mind when you think about those sort of games. Although what one's more sort of leans towards a Souls game. I think this is like that's more of a Souls game where it's a permadeath kind of thing, no checkpoints involved. But yeah, Have a Nice Death. It's like I said, it's a 2D action roguelike where you play as overworked Death, whose employees have run rampant and completely thrown off the balance of Souls and his vacation plans. So he wants to go on vacation and he can't because everyone's gone completely crazy. So yeah, as I said, it's 2D. It's so you play as Def, the CEO of Def Incorporated, who currently finds himself teetering on the edge of burnout. So his top executive, the Sorrows, have been running rampant on Earth's surface, leaving him buried in an underworld-sized mountain of paperwork. Which is actually quite interesting because when you do, it says you can't die, but you can die. Actually, it says there's an RIP. Which just means something different other than what they're saying now. Rest in paperwork. So that was a good, like, so when you do actually like die, I don't know how they've worked out death in this if you can't actually die, but anyway, more about the game first before I nitpick it too much. Now in order to regain control of the company as well as secure a much needed vacation, you need to traverse the various departments of Death Incorporated and remind his subordinates, whose boss. I think I mispronounced that word completely.
Subordinates.
Insubordinates, yes.
Insubordinates, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. So, yeah, you've got over 30 weapons in this game.
Nice.
Spells you can find, you can upgrade, you can create devastating combinations. Although description of this says death never sleeps, since you can't die, you can use what you've learned and earned to overcome the numerous minions and bosses at Death Inc. over and over. So you do sort of start again if you do die, and you will, because it's basically a roguelike. So you've got to expect that kind of difficulty if you're familiar with these. Like, again, as I said, you're going to look at things like Hollow Knight, which I've got that as well. So I've got that and
Hollow Knight,
Dead Cells. So it's worth picking up.
Is it more like Hades?
I would say it's kind of like Hades.
Hades Hollow Knight cross.
Yeah, basically. So yeah, the Sorrows are they're the ones that sort of run in amok a bit. Basically, these are each of the company's morbidly themed departments are run by powerful executives called the Sorrow. The Sorrows, along with the loyal minions, are tasked with maintaining the flow of souls that enter through the marble gates of Death Inc. Lately, the Sorrows have been purposely overfilling quotas. However, so you will have to overcome their powerful abilities and show them who is boss. It's really really the design of this, I would say the aesthetics of this is very good. It's kind of got a hand drawn look to it, where you it's the color scheme. There isn't much color in it, but I would say it's like, you know, like Sin City, that sort of
Okay.
Neor. Is it Neor? Is that how you pronounce that? Right.
Neor.
Neor.
Yeah.
Sort of look to it, where it's mostly black and white greys, but there is some color there as well, which is
Noir.
so that noir. Thank you.
Noir.
Noir.
I was just thinking about LA Noir.
Yeah,
Noir.
that's
how I
I
pronounce.
remember it.
Yeah.
So yeah, Death obviously is portrayed, you know, how you normally would see Death. Obviously it's familiar with like the Grim Reaper style. He's got his safe or scythe.
He's got his safe. He's got his safe.
He's got his safe in
for
there.
his weapons.
With his scythe in his
So, yeah.
safe.
He's got his calculator.
So
His
it's
muffins.
obviously it's Death.
His
Death
coffee.
is a is a skeleton who resembles the typical look of, like, you know, the said Grim Reapers. Say the main difference is being he is short in stature. He has his upper, like.
So what? So Death's in short supply.
Yeah.
Hey.
It's got. It's just very. It's very good. It's very good character, I would say. Nicely drawn. It's very sort of cartoony. If you imagine, like, when you see skulls in cartoon form, it's very big eye holes, but a very small sort of jaw drawn in. That sort of like when you see that skull as it was drawn. It's just there's a lot of characters in this that you'll come across. There is one of the CEO offices is Little Harriet. You'll come across those. It's just very sort of there's background characters that you can interact with now and again. You've got Harriet, there's Joe, Jerry, and there's another character called Mr. O'Shar. He gives you bonuses, and he can spawn in at any floor at any time. So you go through floors as you go through the level. You have to go in an elevator, and you actually, as it loads in, you do get elevator music playing. It's just nice little sort of touch there as you're going down the floors. So yeah, you've got to basically wipe out, trying to get through the end. There's I think six, maybe 7 areas to go through before you get to a boss fight. And as I said, you got Mr. O'Shar, who appears in a coffin, and he's holding like out a book. He's like, how can he help you? Basically, he'll offer you a buff of some type. It might offer you either extra health, or he'll give, because like your cape that you're wearing also has an ability, so it's with it allows you to give you like buffs and stuff. So it helps your the weapon that of choice that you're carrying at the time. It'll either give an extra sort of 10% bonus towards that sort of so as you slash away, you get an extra 10% bonus, or you get a health boost, or you can get stamina, like mana. There's a mana bar as well, so which goes across that. What weapons? So yeah, you've got different, like I said, there's quite a lot of weapons to go through. So I just go through some of these. The Kazkani, that's a wind Kazkani or wind tools. You could pick that up. You're going to get there's a cooldown on this that you could secondary weapons. These are so secondary weapons you have. I think it's better to play on controller. These games are always probably better to play on controller than keyboard and mouse. I did try keyboard and mouse, and like moving to spacebar is a little bit more difficult than saying pressing A or X or Y. You know, so you've got those secondary weapons. Obviously, your main weapon is your safe or scythe. Picking up these weapons along the way. You'll get projectile knives. You can have Thunder Strike as a secondary. Of course, these have got cooldowns, so you've got a 3-second cooldown on some of these have got 3 seconds cooldown. Some of them have got 5 seconds. Some are 10 seconds. So there's like a arm that reaches out and punches or hits people. Is a feral fist, which is quite a fun one to have. You end up it's like a muscular arm that just power punches people flying. It's like such a cool little thing. You got little one that throws out rocks. There's various, like I said, the various weapons, various types of same sort of weapon, but with either different combat. There is a rocket launcher, because why not? You got to have a rocket launcher at some point.
Yeah.
But that obviously it's going to have a lot more. The more powerful the weapon, the more of a cooldown it's going to have. The longer the cooldown it's going to be. But yeah, there's a bow and arrow. As I said, there's the Brutum hammer, which is the where you throw down a few rocks around you. So it does kind of AoE damage. There's a few of them that do an AoE damage. There's the lightning one, which I tried it on one boss and it was a waste of time because there was a boss that it just goes cross quite quickly. But the lightning strikes are, like Hades, when you got to pick up. If you get a good combination of weapons and you combine it with some of the buffs, you're going to have a much better time than maybe your next run through is going to be a lot better. But
RNG based, isn't it?
Yeah, it is RNG. Yeah, it's very RNG based. So you've got to end up, if you don't get those sort of, like for instance, the fire arrows is good to throw out, but again, it's got a 15-second cooldown. Now, if you've got a boss that sweeps across the main boss arena quite quickly, and your aim's off just by a second, you're going to miss every time because it just throws out like a smattering of like three shots, like bum 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 bum. So you get that dash, and if you miss, then you've got to wait that 15 seconds for that cooldown. So that's kind of annoying when that happens.
Okay.
But it's still fun. I still find it. It's still kind of new to me, still kind of fresh. But again, I like the aesthetics to it. But it's very much you're easily lost in that whole idea of like, well, could I play this one? Or should I just stick with that Hollow Knight or something else? Yeah, I think it's a good fresh take on the whole Hollow Knight thing anyway, the whole roguelite or roguelite element anyway. So it's a nice, it's kind of comical in places. You got to, if you like listen to some of the conversations that are happening. Yes, there is an upgrade area, so you upgrade before you go in. Along the way, there are shops that everyone's familiar. They've got the same sort of tropes as any other sort of slide scrolling dungeon crawlers that are out there. Before you get to a boss, you'll end up choosing whether you want more health, depending on how many souls you have collected at this point, because you collect souls as a currency. You also collect ingots as well, gold ingots, which you can spend at your home sort of base before setting off, so you can upgrade certain weapons, or you can upgrade your cloak, certain abilities that come along later on in the game. It is fun. I've enjoyed it. Like I said,
It looks fun.
It is very sort of
Is it early access?
I think it is still in early access, actually.
Okay.
I'm just just checking now. It's currently $10.99 on Steam. I haven't checked if it's available anywhere else. I think it might only be PC. If I'm wrong, then hopefully I am wrong, because I like more people to experience some of these games. Sometimes they never really get a chance to try them out unless you're on PC. Yeah, it does get very positive reviews. I think 85% of the current count at the moment of over 500 people have given it in the last 30 days very positive reviews, but it does get an overall very positive over the 2,000 plus users. I really enjoy it. Again, it's another take on that whole roguelite side-scrolling thing that I jump in, jump out now and again. As a casual player. I haven't stopped playing Planet Crafter, but this is a nice sort of go-to in between playing that and something else if you want to chill out. I tried to put in a few hours recently, but this week for me has been a little bit I've been a bit tied up. But when I have played it, I have played a little bit today just to sort of remind myself again what I wanted to sort of
Uh,
spotlight today. So but yeah.
just to talk about the Planet Crafter. I've also been playing it,
All
but
right,
I've only
okay.
been playing the
Yeah.
prologue,
All right.
and I couldn't figure out how to get food. So, but then I realized you have to like earn oxygen and energy and stuff like that in order to unlock different stuff.
Yeah. Once
I
you're
didn't know that's how that worked, but
right.
I figured it out now.
Yeah.
That's
Just
all I share.
unlock stuff and
That's
then
all I
the blueprints come along quite quickly.
Does the game have voice acting?
don't think so.
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it does. I think it's all it's sort of text based.
Okay, so they do that.
Yeah,
and
you'll get
okay.
similar. It is.
Everyone speaks Simish apparently.
I do
Good,
feel
that's a
like
good impression.
sometimes voice acting is missed in these games quite a lot.
Yeah, especially when you're trying to sell a comedic world, and the tone is obviously very comedic. So I'm watching the gameplay, and if it was voiced, I'd 100% pick it up. But
Like,
I absolutely detest.
I thought we were talking. Sorry,
I was talking about. I was talking about. I am deaf. Not Planet Crafter.
Okay.
Yeah, because it looks really really good, but I think like without the voice acting and giving the characters life and like it just sells the world more. And I've said this before as well previously. I really don't think they should skimp on the voice acting.
When you consider how many characters that you'll come across in this, it would be nice to actually have like those background characters have a voice rather
at
than
least the main ones.
the
like
main, of course, the main ones. Like when that's what I think the only exception was probably Hades, if I remember correctly. You went into a room, you wanted to find out a bit of lore. You spoke to a character, didn't you? Like when you went to the bar, I think it was.
Yeah.
At any point, and there was I would say
every character's voiced in Hades. Every character.
Yeah.
So it sells the world so much more.
It does.
And it's so more engaging because especially if there's a lot of text, like if the exposition is going through the story beats and it's just stop. It's just kind of like I'm just like skip. I'm not interested in listening to it. What we're reading it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Once you go, sorry, Beth. I was just going to say, once you go through this once and you've read the text, you don't really need to go through it again. And it's like so.
A bit annoying, right? Having to go through it again.
Yeah, I mean, if it had like the voice acting, I would imagine they would have had to put a lot more effort into the script as well. And I think that's what they've done is they've cut. I think that's why they haven't done it. It's just they wanted to do a shortcut into the game. And like with Hades, there's a lot more production on the voice acting.
Oh yeah, that's got a massive budget. I mean, it's not the same sort of thing. But
I would say that might be the only reason why they didn't do that. Because like I said, once you've read the text, it's kind of repeated a couple of times, so you don't need to see it. Again and again and again. It's not heavily scripted. You go through you'll meet characters along the way that they have something to say, but it's more like if it's a monstrous character, he's got a much more deeper voice, and it's like
Wow, some impressions today.
Yeah, I know.
That's some really good impressions today.
And
My God, imagine.
it's like there was that like
I'm so sorry for everyone listening.
I'm not.
I'm not sorry.
They get to the end. They get to an end of a conversation. And there's a laugh, so naturally he'd do a little chuckle, and you go, "Well, yeah, it's that, isn't it?" And that's all you get from it. That's the only sort of voice acting that's done in it. It's just a noise. It's just a grunt. It's just groans. It's not. There's no. Sorry.
No, sorry, Steve. Go on, you finish. I need to cut in.
Can you? I was going to ask. Can you?
It's like, can you imagine it in a movie and you meet to the main bad guy. He hasn't spoke the whole thing, and then he goes to speak. He goes to talk, and he goes.
That would be annoying.
Yeah, it would be. Do you know what?
Yeah.
I would actually go and watch it just for that.
Yeah, I'll just go see it just to see people's reactions to it.
Yeah, trolling, just basically equivalent of Rick rolling the audience, isn't it? To be honest.
Yeah.
So,
I was
no,
gonna say, even though you guys like, I do believe that the game is in early access, so they may add like they might add voice acting in the
I hope they
future,
do. I hope they do.
Hopefully they
depending
do.
how well how well it like sells and stuff. Maybe they can invest, more of that money
I'll
into
do
it.
it for free. I am deaf. Hit me up. I'll do it for free.
You want a voice? I do.
Yeah. Me and Steve will voice your whole game for you.
Our voice. There you go. There's audition right there. You know,
for free.
what you get. The podcast
Now
is our
voice
We're
stepping
using
stone
this-
towards. Yeah, we're using this podcast as a stepping stone into voice
Auditions.
acting. Auditions.
Yeah.
We are free.
The audition cast.
Yeah, we'll all
Hit-
be voices.
Yeah, the voices.
Yeah. Magic Design Studios, if you're out there, just
Hit us up.
hit us up.
Oh, any studio.
We're
doesn't matter.
available.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Did I mention for free?
but yeah, so this, yeah, there you go. Have a nice death.
I will.
It came out on 8th of March, so it's come out quite recently. Yeah, it's still in early access. It's $10.99 as I said earlier, but yeah, I'd give it. It would lose points because it doesn't have voice acting, but I'd give it an 8 out of 10. I mean, that's my I think
your
it's-
ranking.
yeah, I would my personal choice for this. I mean, if Hollow Knight gets a solid 10 for its
Until Dawn gets 9 out of 10. Just,
just
I
10.
thought,
Why not?
we're
Why not?
scoring now.
I don't
so-
often score games, but if I did score a game, for me, it'll lose points because of it's original in itself, but it's not original as a game, as a standalone, because there's other games out there that have done it before.
Yeah, it's a
So-
very copycat title.
Yeah, it
Well,
is. It
it's
is
been
very.
done before, sort of
I've
thing.
also there's another game that just springs to mind. I'll quickly mention Elder Lilies as well. I think a lot of people.
Yes, I've played that. Yes.
So that's
yes.
another. Again, it's a variation on design and
Game's
aesthetics.
hard, man.
Yes, I know.
That game is
That game is
Dark
hard.
Souls harder.
It's
Yeah,
I would
very
say
tough. Sorry.
this is a slight linear version of that, but it's still hard because it still falls into that roguelike.
Yeah, I
territory.
struggle with platform games like this. I always struggle, always die. I mean, I get away with Hades because of the viewpoint, because it's isometric. If this was an isometric viewpoint, I'd probably be a lot better at it. But side-scrolling Dark Soul type games, I suck massively at.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
die. Rest in paperwork permanently.
Rest in paperwork.
Might as well just
No.
make that as your background.
That's a good screensaver, isn't it, for offices? Rest in paperwork.
It
Rest in paperwork.
has a good aesthetic, but like I said, it's that the color to it. It is. Yeah, well, as we
for a tenner, it's definitely worth.
it's
the punt,
yeah,
isn't it?
it's worth picking up for 10 quid.
It might even end up on Game Pass, because a lot of these sort of games do end up
yeah.
on Game Pass at some point.
Do.
Because another one I would say as well, maybe if you, I think it's falls in the same category as Curse of the Dead Gods is another one that I played, and I know I did cover that briefly as well. And I have actually spotlighted that again. It's another action roguelike. So yeah. There's plenty of them out there. It's just a question of what perspective you want to do it from. If whatever.
Just go find them.
I do like the art style of this game, though. I love the character designs.
Yeah,
They're very cool. They're very
Yeah.
funny and very. It's you can just see them as an animation or a show. It'd be very cool.
Yeah.
But yeah.
There we go. That is me.
I am deaf, currently stuck in paperwork.
There we go. That is my spotlight for this week. And I think that
Wow.
ends the spotlights for this week.
Yep.
and we
Indeed.
can start moving on to some news. If anyone's got any news, I've got some things that I wanted to
Oh,
talk
you
about.
go first, and Steve, you go first.
There's a couple of things that I looked at, and I know we've mentioned something like this before, but I'll go through it again because I think it plays into something else that I looked at as well. So I might play these back to back. But let's have a look. So, and like I said, you definitely talked about something like this before, so I'll go through this anyway. PC Plus subscribers aren't as happy, about the recent changes. There's recent changes to PC, to the PlayStation Plus. I know this news came out on Game Rant. I'm getting this information from. This came out about 3 hours ago, so it's kind of new to them. But it's many PlayStation Plus subscribers aren't happy with the recent controversial change Sony has made to the service. Compared to other video game subscription services, Sony's PlayStation Plus seems to be fairly popular. While there are definitely months that miss the mark, the free PlayStation Plus games for any given month often outdo the Xbox free Game Pass with gold lineup. And there's also a sizable PS Plus collection for PS5 gamers to take into account. However, the recent change to PS Plus has greatly upset some subscribers. Sony has disabled PS Plus subscription stacking. Subscription stacking is when subscribers redeem multiple PS Plus codes at the same time to stack their subscriptions and keep it going longer.
Oh.
Oftentimes, PS Plus subscribers do this when subscription cards go on sale, so they can get multiple years of PS Plus for a fraction of the cost. However, Sony disabled this without any prior announcement, and fans are not happy about this. For now, PS Plus subscribers can only redeem codes after their current subscriptions has expired. Sony has explained that it made these changes due to the new PS Plus tiers that are on the horizon. For the uninitiated, Sony is combining PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now to create 3 new PlayStation subscription tiers: Essential, Extra, and Premium. Sony has said this change will make the transition to the new PlayStation Plus subscription service go smoother, and that subscribers will be able to stack subscriptions again after the new PS Plus launches. The launch dates vary by region, but Sony is targeting a June 13 date for those in the Americas. Since subscription stacking will be available again after the new PS Plus tiers launches, some may not think that this is all that big of a deal. But the issue is that those who were able to take advantage of this before Sony put a stop to it were essentially able to build up an extra time for the month's expensive PS Plus tiers at a discount. Those with both PS Plus and PlayStation Now subscriptions will be able to convert to PS Plus Premium at a lower cost than those who weren't able to take advantage of stacking before Sony disabled the feature. Many have been unfavorable, complaining this move to comparing this move to Xbox Game Pass, as Microsoft has allowed users to stack subscriptions for years. It has painted a picture of Microsoft being more consumer friendly with its comparable subscription service than Sony has been. So it will be interesting to see how fans react to once the new PS Plus tiers launch.
Yes, I will say that Xbox and PlayStation will always be compared with each other.
Yeah.
So, to be honest, I don't really play my PS4
No.
if ever. So I only play it if there's like an exclusive on the PS4, and
Yeah,
that's the only
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
reason I bought it to do that. So I probably won't get the benefit of that
Yeah.
unless if there's a multiplayer game that would need that and we all had it, then I'll consider it. But because I don't rarely use it, it's not worth the money to me. And I can understand. Are people upset? Did you say people were upset with it,
Well,
or
yeah,
does it not say?
no, people were not happy with that fact that there was able to stack before. It was just,
Oh,
yeah,
so they can't stack. You said they
Yeah,
couldn't
no,
there's no reason for them to remove that. There is
no,
no reason for them to remove that. It's very
They don't.
anti-consumer.
They want
it
people
is,
to buy more.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
That's what it
and by
is.
doing this, they're going to buy less. So this is shoot themselves
I
in the
don't
foot.
know. I don't know. Like people buy into it. Like like
The
you'll be
whole
surprised.
the whole merger thing is crap anyway. They're not advocating for the gamer and consumer that they're trying to make out they are. They're trying to offload all their tat and a back library as a retro or old school gaming, and most of the games in it are old Japanese games that have never been played or touched for years. Most of the library isn't even like games that you would pick up in a sale, or the classic PS3 games that they're not even there. Most of them are just like non-existent. The library's like a bag of bones. You compare it, you compare the proposed library of the PlayStation Plus and all its tiers to Xbox Game Pass. It's a no-brainer. The fact that they won't put their exclusives on it, even some of them, is just
Yeah.
like stupidity.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
There's
want.
there's no
Yeah.
reason to pay for a PlayStation Plus, like you said, unless you've got an exclusive game on there that you play with your friends on that particular platform. And that is the reason why I have a PS5 is for the non-existent exclusives right now. There are exclusives, but there isn't as many across the board in general. And that there was actually a bit of uproar about PlayStation giving PC their exclusives. Yeah, there
Really.
was they're like, yeah, what's the point of having a PlayStation and having all these exclusive on this platform if you're just going to put it on PC? What's
True.
next? Xbox. What's the
True.
point of exclusivity if it doesn't mean anything? At the end of the day, it's money, and because Sony is bleeding money like no tomorrow, because
Yeah.
they ain't got enough subscribers, they haven't got enough content, they haven't got enough stuff on the platform to keep the gamers interested. I mean, you compare the multiplayer side of PlayStation to Xbox, when Xbox is literally cross game friendly from pretty much
Yeah.
everything it has.
They're
Um,
thriving right now.
yeah, and
Xbox.
especially the multiplayer side of it, and the Sony can't put a candle to Xbox right now,
No.
No.
especially for the multiplayer side of things. So this is just this whole subscription thing and the lack of multi-stacking, which Xbox actually advocate and promote. Still, I think they even put out a tweet saying we ain't going to do that. Feel free to stack as much as you want. You know what I mean? It's just like Sony just like get the gun and just
Yeah,
just,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just
Shut
it's
themselves.
just stupidity, just absolute stupidity. With a
Yeah.
stupid gun, fill it up with as many stupid bullets as possible, and then empty it into your company with dumb ideas. And it's dumb. It's the whole thing's dumb. So that's what happens, though.
Of course.
They're over there, and no disrespect to the different cultures and stuff, but Sony is a Japanese company at the end of the day, and they have a different set of culture, rules, and things, aesthetics that they sit to. So this won't even bother them because that they spend billions on mobile phones. They don't
Yeah.
care about the console was actually second fiddle to the console market, and the PC market is even lower. So their priority is the mobile market, and a lot of stuff does. That's why you get the PlayStation Companion app, and sometimes you get companion games with the PlayStation because they're trying to make people go into the mobile side of gaming. Because that's where they make all their money over there. So it's only the West care about PlayStation Plus. Is basically what I'm getting at. And
Yeah.
Japan are like, yeah, whatever, you do what you want. We don't give a monkeys. And that's where the intersections don't
Yeah.
align.
Yeah.
Because they're not, like I said, they're not pro consumer. They're very much pro company. And in this day and age, what happens to pro company?
Explode.
Yeah. I do.
Right. Well, that actually, I should be able to segue into this quite nicely then, because this actually talks about this next bit. I just want to go on to this other piece of news then, and then we move on. So Xbox Game Pass confirms new day one games for May and July 2022. Right, various release dates announced confirm more day one Xbox Game Pass game releases for May and July. Microsoft likes to spotlight the new games coming to its Xbox Game Pass subscription service every 2 weeks or so, but release date announcements can often give subscribers advance notice about when to expect certain day one releases. Recent announcements have confirmed yet another day one Xbox Game Pass game for May 2022. Sorry, and as well as one of the day one games that subscribers can look forward to come is July 2022. It's been announced that Floppy Nights is launching as a day one Game Pass game on May 24th. Floppy Nights combines a colourful art style with tactical gameplay. It features turn-based battles and card game mechanics, and it looks like it should appeal to both strategy and deck building fans. Luckily, anyone interested can try the game through Xbox Game Pass without having to commit to paying full price. Meanwhile, a completely different kind of game has been announced as one of the day one games for July 2022. It's been announced that tennis game Matchpoint Tennis Championships will be a day one Xbox Game Pass game when it launches on July 7th. There aren't a ton of tennis games on the market, so fans of the sport have something to look forward to when Matchpoint Tennis Championship launches later this summer. So there's going to be Xbox Game Pass for May 22 will look like this. Loot River May the 3rd, Citizen Sleeper May the 5th, Trek to Yomi May the 5th, Endium Chronicle Rising, I think that's how you pronounce it, I'm not sure. May the 10th, Floppy Nights, as I mentioned, is May the 24th, Hard Space Shipbreaker May the 24th, Sniper Elite 5 May the 26th, and Pac-Man Museum Plus May the 27th. It will be a couple of months before Xbox finalizes the new Game Pass games for July 2022, but the May 2022 lineup should become clearer in a matter of days. Besides the aforementioned Floppy Nights, 7 other games have already been confirmed for the Game Pass next month. This includes Loot River, or all the games that I've just mentioned. I'm not going to go through those again. The games span a variety of genres, and so there should be something for just about every kind of gamer come May. Besides the games that have been confirmed for Xbox Game Pass in May 2022, another has been leaked. A Microsoft Store leak has suggested that this War of Mine Final Cut will be coming to Xbox Game Pass on May the 10th. Though that has not been officially announced at this time. So yeah, I mean, it's a little bit different, but it's more. It sounds like day one releases on Xbox. Again, it's like the two have got very different ideas on how they want to treat their subscribers, and so that's why I thought it was worth mentioning. Yeah. So
it seems like. Sorry.
No, go on, Beth.
I was just gonna say, it seems like, even though Microsoft have been a bit with the whole Blizzard thing and whatever, but we won't get into that. They seem to be, dedicated with making sure there's content out on the Xbox Game Pass constantly, making sure, like, giving indie developers a platform and And there are some really like most of the games are probably pretty good. Some of them probably not so good, but
No,
um,
but
there's a lot of cool games, on there. Yeah, what was you gonna say? Sorry,
no,
Mr. Steve.
I was just going to say, like, even if the games themselves are not that great, it's still content you're going to get on day one releases rather than wait a couple of months. Which again, it's a flip of a coin, isn't it? Because like you've got one
Yeah,
side you've got Sony, and then the other side you've got Microsoft, and like I I'm leaning towards again with that whole thing that's happening in the background with Blizzard and all that, like he's mentioned. I'm still leaning towards Microsoft more than I am Sony. So,
yeah. I think a
if I
lot,
was
a lot
as
of
a
people are.
subscriber, I'm currently as a non-subscriber to anything big. Like I do subscribe to the Game Pass. I used to play on PlayStation 4, like you said, Beth. I'd go back to it if there was anything good coming up, but there isn't. So
Yeah,
I got
no, no,
there's no point
exactly.
in me going back to it. But most of my games do come from CD keys or Steam or you know
Yeah,
for the use.
G2A.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
yeah, yeah. Cool. All right. I do not have any news, by the way. So
Right.
no,
I have a
you,
juicy topic that I want to get into, and I mentioned this before we even started the podcast. I think you're going to know what I'm going to talk about, um, which is Twitch. As we're
oh yeah,
all the streaming platform, um, this might be a long one. I'll try and keep it short. Um,
yeah.
So
Try.
yeah, so in the news this week there was a Bloomberg article that reported on Twitch's apparently improvements to Twitch. Twitch is reportedly looking at ways to make itself worse. Very cool worded article. I think that's a very good way of putting it. More ads and less favourable revenue rates are on the table. What does that mean? I hear you ask, 3D. Well, let me tell you what the proposed plans that may or may not happen is that Twitch is looking to reduce subscription payouts to its employee base, if you like, our partner and affiliate, from the current 70-30%. Um, so 70% of the income goes to the creator, and then 30% goes to Twitch. And Twitch are now going, give me more money. And it will go 50-50 now. So apparently, with Twitch doing no extra work to earn that extra 20%, because you look at the platform and its innovations in the last year and how much it has not helped young creators grow. I think this is a bit of a kick in the face to all the creators, to be honest. The sort of sheer cheek of asking for more money when you what's changed? I know expenses have gone up, obviously. I can understand that increase, but 20%, 10% is maybe 20%. That's a bit of and then on to the final kick in the balls to all of us, even if you aren't the male gender, you're still going to feel the impact of this nonsense because they're going to be adding ads all over the place to every nook and cranny of Twitch, just to spoil your day and just to spoil your uh, viewing experience. So like for every 10 minutes, you get 2.5 minutes of ads. That is their baseline. And the ads will increase or decrease depending on your channel size, your sub count, and your engagement count, which is the last little thing that has a little chat. People chat in the little chat and say hello, and all that makes a massive difference to how Twitch views how important your channel is. Um,
This
so
is really difficult to like. Um, I think it's gonna be difficult for like because we're all very small streamers.
yeah,
I think it's gonna be very difficult for us to even get a payout now, and
yeah,
they were rare anyway. You
yeah,
know, they
exactly, yeah, yeah,
they
yeah,
they weren't a, they weren't a thing, and I know a lot of us don't do it for payment,
yeah.
but it's nice to sometimes have it like, oh,
Yeah, it helps a little bit. It
you know,
definitely helps a lot, especially for someone who let's say doesn't have a lot of spare money.
yeah, exactly, yeah,
It's a nice little bonus for just doing something they enjoy. And
yeah, exactly right,
not to give away too much personal information, but I get about £50 after they take their taxes and what have you away every 7 to 8 months. Um, and
yeah.
now I'm looking at like £32 if that, and that's it, and that's with all the just the subscription loss. Never mind the viewership count loss while we lose because who wants to watch adverts?
No one, no
Nobody wants
one.
to watch adverts. I did. I don't want to do a shameless plug here, but I did go over all this in massive detail on my own podcast, where I basically went into a right triad about what they could do instead of what they're going to do. So these adverts they want to play on all of our channels and block the viewer for some reason. They not only do you have a nice little massive ad in your eyeballs, and you've got an advert in the corner, so you can't even like watch what's happening while you're waiting for this stupid advert to bugger off. And it doesn't matter if you're subscribed either. If you're subscribed, you get a minute. If you're unsubscribed or you're just a viewer, it's 2 minutes. That's what I've noticed in the last couple of weeks. If you're
Oh, so
if you're
they're
if you're
right.
subbed, you get a minute or 30 seconds of adverts every 15, 20 minutes. If you're not a sub, it's much more than that, and it's much more frequent. Um,
Yeah, I was wondering. So, in a way, if you subscribe, because the thing is, like they say, if you subscribe, you don't have ads anymore.
yeah,
But they have to change that now.
they will be changed, yeah, if they go through with it. But they're gonna lose so much money because what is the purpose apart from obviously supporting the creator? But then there's the creators not even getting the money because the Twitch are taking half of it.
Yeah.
So they take half of everything. Give me it's like being divorced every time you get given money. Give me half. You know,
I want half of your money.
give you half of everything, or else can't stream on this platform. Like there's not other platforms we can stream on.
There's
This is this is
YouTube,
this is going to
but
massively
that's
boost YouTube gaming. People are already commuting.
yeah, a
Some
lot.
creators have already said, sod this. I'm going. I'm going to go
Yeah,
before
like
it gets worse.
it's kind
You
of
know,
like when Tim the Tap Man left.
yeah.
I guess that was kind of like a
Mm.
warning sign. Like they must have known.
Saw the just sinking ship, and they're like, yeah, I'm out of here.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah,
like I said earlier, there's been no innovation from Twitch. There's been no improvement to any sort of low affiliates, because technically we are affiliates. We are important to Twitch apparently, but according to this report, not that important.
no,
The partners and stuff won't feel this really.
of course not.
Those that got thousands of followers, thousands of subs, or even hundreds and hundreds of subs, they're going to complain, but they won't really affect them that much because they're still going to get their donations, they're still going to get their merch, they're still going to get ad revenue, and most of these channels have multiple venues of income anyway from other sources.
Yeah,
We're none of us are new to Twitch. We've been on the platform a long time.
more than 3 years.
Yeah, and we we
Yeah,
we well, I've never knocked on Twitch's door and gone, "Excuse me,
yeah,
where's my promotion?
yeah. Where's
Where's my
why am I
feature in the small creator section? Come on, you
why
know,
why am I not getting paid more?
yeah.
Pay
Where's
me
my
more.
fucking money? Give me my
Yeah,
money now, or
yeah.
chop your knackers off." But
Okay.
it's. Sorry, I got possessed by the witch's dwarf.
Yes.
Then it's
Yeah, I was there.
it's it is infuriating though. It's so frustrating because it's like I said earlier, it seems the theme of tonight is companies, just wanted to self-destruct as much as possible, and
Yeah,
and everyone is unanimously agreeing if Twitch does this, Twitch is done. Twitch is long gone. The worst thing is that they say, "Oh, but we'll give our partners. They could be. It's a non-exclusive now, so you won't be exclusive to us anymore." So then, what's the purpose of being in with you in the first place?
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
It's kind of like
if you don't like it, you can go over to YouTube. All right, and I will. Cheers.
yeah, that's
You
what
know,
everyone's doing right now.
it's a
Yeah.
good time to jump into YouTube gaming. I think I might actually give it a go and see what it's like over on the dark side of the web.
Dark
Um,
side.
the dark side.
Join us.
Join us now. You know the power of the dark side.
In dice.
It's
Yeah.
but when they do stupid stuff like this, and then you take into account all the ear licking ASMR and all the hot tub nonsense and all the stuff they permit already, and it's less of a game. It's not a gaming platform anymore. It's it's like a bit shoot. Everyone just uploads whatever, and does whatever. The theme of it is gradually moved away from the gaming profile they had to start off with. We're pro gamers and we're for the gamers, and you can come over here and build your gaming communities and all that. And then it's divulged into those other streaming categories, which is fine. I don't have a problem with any of that. But the point is, how much further are they going to stray away from the ideals that they started with, and then we're going to end up with a shallow version of Twitch. With hardly any depth to the company. That's all they want is the money. And when you start doing that, people are just like, nah. If you don't give a monkeys about us, then we're not going to give a monkeys about you.
Yeah.
It's a catalyst effect. It's you if you don't if you're you act the bad guy, do stupid things, do dumb stuff, people will be like, no, we're not, no, we're not doing any of that. But yeah, it's all hearsay, hearsay.
Hearsay.
It's all hearsay right now. But there is a lot of weight behind these comments from the Bloomberg article, and it is enough to give a lot of people pause for concern. And the fact that Twitch haven't come out and disavowed any of it, or even said it ain't going to happen,
Might be
is
might be
very
true.
telling. It's
Yeah.
very telling. It's this news broke 4 days ago, 5 days ago. Plenty
Mhm.
of time for a spokesperson to come out saying, regarding the recent Bloomberg article, we at Twitch have to say it's a pile of nonsense. They haven't said anything. So
So there must be an
that's
element
me.
of truth.
Yeah, unless they come out, in the next couple of days. If they come out within a week and say something, address it, then fair enough. But if they
Yeah.
don't, then there's a lot of truth behind these words, and I think we should all be looking. Hello, YouTube gaming. How are you doing?
Yeah.
Or Facebook gaming even. Oh God, Facebook, that's scary.
Oh god,
Um,
I don't
let's
wanna
go.
do
Let's
that.
go. That is, I said dark side earlier. That's the darker side. That's the
Yeah.
darkest side of the internet. But what do you
Agreed.
guys think? I mean, I've waffled on a bit here. What do you guys think of it all? Right, as a fellow affiliates on the Twitchy platform.
You can go first, Mr. Stick.
I was just going to say, I think it feels like we're being slowly brushed out. Like if you're
Mm,
affiliate, they're slowly trying to. It's like they're trying to get rid of you because
mm.
they much rather have big streamers, give them all the money,
Give them all the viewership.
give them
Yeah,
all the viewership. Like
yeah.
if you get rid of all, it's kind of like the ad apocalypse that happened on YouTube. Like YouTube isn't. Although it might be a safer platform now, it's not. It never, it had that problem with, it was very difficult to get sort of make anything to become a creator on YouTube. It's very difficult now because of the ad
Mm,
apocalypse that happened like a couple of years ago. And when they
Yeah.
tried, and it was as a small content creator on YouTube. I briefly signed up to the ad revenue for YouTube. That was just before, and I was able to start earning money from ads. As long as people were subscribing, that you could get a payment. But obviously, I didn't. I'm a very small creator anyway. At the time, I was even smaller. So than what I have now. I think maybe I'm hitting around 60. I don't know, subscribers. I can't
61.
61.
Yeah.
So before that, I probably had maybe 10 less than when I first started. So I've gained 10 in the last 5 years, maybe. We're talking about 5 years ago when I first sort of started YouTube. So like 2015. Yeah. I mean, it may have been, I may have joined YouTube longer. So you have to sign up to YouTube to comment, didn't you? But as a
Mm,
creator, I created 5 years ago. And then in the last 2 years or so, there was that ad apocalypse thing that ruined a chance for anyone to try and start off. But anyone who has already got their viewership, so anyone who got their subscribers, to get them to that threshold so that it could start earning some money, they were okay. And I think this is going like now. YouTube might be a safer bet, but it was back then. It was, it was a little bit more difficult. Now you might be able to get it, but if I was to transfer, me personally, I don't know if I could go from Twitch to YouTube and have the same amount of followers or subscribers as they are over on YouTube. It's subscribers or followers. It's the same thing.
Mhm.
Obviously, the difference being with Twitch, if you subscribe, you're paying money, whereas if you're
mm.
subscribed, it's just a follow account, isn't it? I don't think
Yes.
I'm going to be. I don't think I'm going to be able to not to survive. That sounds like I'm already making money. I'm not. I don't think. I don't think I'll be able to reach the same kind of status as what I've got
Yeah.
now. I don't think I'll get the same viewership on
Yeah.
YouTube. But that said, I probably will lose viewership because of this. So if I
Yes.
stay with Twitch, I don't get as many. Like I probably average maybe 3 viewers a stream as average, which is what we can all sort of see. You might hit sort of 10 viewers next week, but that would be once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know. But I think I'm gonna see a massive decline, and a massive decline is 0 for me. I think I'm gonna get
Yeah.
0 viewers, just because of
I
this.
don't. Sorry, Steve.
No, that's fine. I'm pretty
Uh,
much done with what I wanted to say anyway. Just that's
yeah.
how. Obviously, I got to look at it as a personal kind of point of view, because it's going to affect. That's how I see me being affected. How it's
Yeah.
gonna, I don't know. I think maybe that echoes for you as well, but
Yeah, I just want to say that to begin with, joining Twitch, it's difficult to get viewership anyway.
yeah,
And you got a network. Like I've always been like, you got a network to even get like viewership and stuff. And I just think anyone who wants to become a streamer or do that, it's gonna be pretty impossible to get, like even 50 views, like 50 views would be crazy for like any of us, but we can't even reach that. We can't even reach 10, and that's how it's very difficult for, very small streamers like us to even get like 1 or 2 views, sometimes. And I was also going to mention that even though I think I got, how many followers do you guys have?
I have 195.
All right.
yeah.
Even though I have more followers than you guys, I don't get any more
Yeah.
viewership than you guys. Like most of those follows are like well, not, I won't say pity follows, but
They're more or less like, oh, you followed, blah blah blah. I'll follow
yeah,
you, and then you never see them again. You
yeah,
never see them
exactly
in chat
right.
or anything. Yeah, yeah,
Exactly right.
yeah. Pity
Um,
follows. That is a good way of looking at it. Pity follows. The sympathy follows. Oh, he hasn't got many followers, or she ain't got many
yeah,
followers. Oh, she's
it's
coming.
not.
She's rated, blah blah blah. I'll give them a follow, and then you never see them.
Yeah, and that's all my followers are. It's just like people who like follow me and then they I never see them again. But I will say that I do have like a small we're a community, right? So we support each other and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So even if this does affect us, we'll still have each other to like you know what I mean?
So
Like few. I
Sorry,
don't know
I didn't mean
what
to
happened.
laugh.
You're laughing.
I'm watching my stream and I've got 3 minutes of adverts on my own
Oh,
stream on my own
oh,
channel.
oh, damn it.
I'm just watching it to see if it's okay, and it's just 3 minutes of adverts. Sorry,
Oh God.
I'm just flipping.
Yeah,
It's already begun. They've already started doing it. There's
it's
no
gonna
way
be
around it.
difficult. It's
It's
gonna be difficult.
it's going to be impossible. Like it's to grow on this platform is going to be nigh on impossible. And I know I do agree with what you're saying, Steve, about losing viewership and losing, your established audience and all the work you've put into Twitch is now feels like it's going to be like a waste of time or a gigantic, just why did I bother sort of
Yeah.
thing with Twitch. You've put all this effort and money if you've paid for your emotes and backgrounds and all of that
Yeah.
stuff. You've invested into your channel, you've invested into your product, your brand, your equipment and all that, games as well. So all counts towards your, trying to do that thing where we all want to grow our channel and, at least get a semblance of some audience. It's the whole thing of doing it. The whole reason to do it is to engage with people and to have a laugh and to have that semblance of community. And just, you go online, you're going to have a laugh no matter what. And
yeah,
then,
yeah,
and sometimes you do get high. Sometimes you get no viewers. So you get no one. You just have your bots in the chat, and
yeah,
even it's like that. I'm thinking, why am I bothering?
yeah.
Why am I bothering? And I'll end the stream early, or I'll find a reason to log off. Be like, yeah, I saw it. I'll just
Yeah,
stream another day.
yeah, that happens a lot,
Yeah,
and that can make it very difficult.
yeah,
But when I think we have a good little community
yeah. We
here,
have awesome community. Yeah, we do.
so I think even if this starts to impact our Twitch and stuff, I think we'll still be able to support each other.
Oh
And
yeah, we're not
if
going
we
anywhere.
if we decide to move platforms, we're I'm
We're
sure
all in this together. Yeah.
exactly
Da,
right,
da.
exactly right.
I'm the
Um,
captain of the ship. I sink when the ship
yeah.
sinks. That's it.
So I know it's quite difficult to think negatively about this situation, and there's lots of negatives to it, but there's positives. I can't think of the positives, but
There is
all I
There
can
some,
isn't
say
any in
is
this particular situation, no.
I can say well, the only positive I can say is that we can support each other still, and yeah, I
Yeah,
don't. Uh, I don't agree with
we will never
Twitch.
die.
Yeah, I don't
Friends
agree.
forever.
I
Put
don't.
your hands in. 1, 2, 3, way.
Way, yeah. Yeah, I don't agree with what Twitch is doing.
No.
It's always been hard to even get any viewership. It took me a while to get
Yeah.
even a couple, you know?
Look at the grind we had to do to get affiliate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
and then look at how hard it how we had to get to even just get our our regulars that we have in, and we
I
do
will.
all of us do have a couple of regulars that which is great.
Yeah,
But the one thing that I'm worried about is not everyone likes using YouTube. You know,
yeah,
the reason they come over to Twitch is because they don't like YouTube, you
yeah.
know, and the way it's set up, the platform, you
Yeah.
know, that
Yeah.
it's
That's
not
a very
easy to
good point.
navigate. It's
That's a
not
very good
great for
point.
live streaming. It hasn't got a lot of quality of life things on it. It's very hard that website to navigate, and it's very confusing when you see multiple things live, and you don't know who to click on or what to click on or where to click on because it's all over the shop. You got YouTube, YouTube Gaming, other various URLs that you're supposed to know how to type in or know where to click on. And if you go to the YouTube main page, there's no click. There's no click to YouTube Gaming anywhere. You've got to manually find it, and that's if you're lucky.
Yeah,
So I think if YouTube get on this and realize that Twitch is then YouTube should be on the ball. Be like, right, okay, let's put some investment into our YouTube gaming section and beef it up a bit and welcome in all the exodus from Twitch because it's going to happen. There's going to be a mass exodus
yeah,
from Twitch to YouTube Gaming, to Facebook Gaming, and any other platform. There might even be some platforms I haven't heard of that
yeah.
we could probably look at as well
There's
because
probably a lot of those
a lot of
actually.
software does allow you to multi-stream.
Yeah.
The only reason I don't use that is because it tanks my uh, what's the word upload rate.
I
So
thought it wasn't allowed either, though.
no, you can.
Oh, you can.
There's
Right.
nothing in your terms of service. We're not a partner, so that doesn't apply
Oh,
to us.
that doesn't apply.
So
Oh,
you can multi-stream to whatever you want. Um,
okay. I
the
didn't
only
know.
thing is the only downside to that is that most software charge money for that feature.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And for someone like me who doesn't really have a lot of spare money each month, I can't really justify paying a bit of software 20 quid a month just to go get that extra one viewer
Yeah.
No,
on the
no.
platform right now. But it looks
Yeah,
like I'm going to be finding out what it's like anyway if this comes to pass. Um,
yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's not a good day to be on Twitch, and that's why Twitch was trending on Twitter earlier as well. There was like 500,000 tweets going
Oh,
around about
that's why.
Twitch, uh, all saying the same thing, like WTF Twitch, what's going on?
Yeah.
And Twitch just remained silent, like
Well,
like
hopefully they what? You was
I
gonna
even
say
they don't. I was gonna say like Amber Turd in the courtroom, but
I was wondering if anyone's gonna uh
yeah,
uh
I
talk
made a
about
little
that.
Amber Turd emoji today. I've used it in my thumbnail.
Oh my god.
I put it on Twitter. I was like, oh, feel free to use. Oh
I
dear.
don't want to get into too much about that, but
No, 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 no. It is
I just
funny though.
I just want to quickly say, did you see the Abbott's lawyer object to his own question?
Yes.
It's so ridiculous.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
did
I've
you
been watching a lot of it,
did you see
and
the one where they tried to use Johnny Depp's penis as evidence?
yes,
That
yeah,
is the most
and you
ridiculous thing I've
and
ever seen in my life.
you can see like Johnny just trying to not laugh at
He's just
his.
wetting himself and he's
I
sitting there
know,
just literally peeing himself laughing at how preposterous it all is.
I know, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
surprised he didn't go hearsay. It's
yeah.
hilarious. I know it's not a feature of our podcast, but
I know, yeah, yeah. It's a
it is
current event
everyone's
right
talking
now.
about it.
Yeah,
It's everywhere.
yeah,
You know, and it's you can't get away
absolutely.
from it. But the memes that are coming out of it are fucking first
Yeah,
class. And
I
it's so
do.
funny. I love the compilation videos. They make me laugh so much.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah,
the one
like
with he's sitting in the chair and you see all the effects going along where he's like thinking and he's like
yeah.
he's got like you can see by expression the little like WTF, all the stuff
Yeah.
that comes up next to it. It's
No, really.
so well done. Whoever done
Yeah.
that is an
Yeah.
absolute genius. It's so
Yeah.
funny. If
Yeah.
you feel it, if you after you're down in the dumps about this Twitch thing, go and watch that. That'll cheer you up as a
Yeah.
a little
Lots of funny stuff.
yeah, lots of funny stuff out there. Or you could watch
Like
the millions of memes about Chris
Amberton.
Rock getting
Oh.
slapped,
Oh yeah.
which is still ongoing, which is still
Yeah.
hilarious to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah. Sorry about kind of went off
we'd
topic.
segued into loads of stuff like we always do here on the Bits and Pieces podcast.
It's just
Unscripted nonsense.
yeah, it's just the
Some of
current
the
event
best.
right now, and it's just it's so ridiculous, and
Some of the
you know,
best. Some of our best content is just unscripted, and that's the best way forward, I think.
It's always
yeah,
unscripted unless you've
Yeah.
got a script that I don't have.
yeah.
Oh, I'd never have a
Going off
script.
script, Freedy. What's going on here? What are you doing?
There's a script, but we don't have
Objection.
it. Objection.
This is the bottom live show. This is just completely gone. Right, we knew what we was going to say,
After
but
dark.
we knew what we were supposed to say, but
Yeah,
We didn't say
we
it.
didn't.
just
We didn't
we
know
The
about
opposite.
it.
oh dear.
We started on a
Yeah.
journey and never arrived at our destination.
Yeah, Yep.
Oh dear.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Um,
think we're done with that.
I
Are
think
we
I
done?
wrap off. Yeah,
that
I think
that wraps
yeah.
up another podcast today. I think we should go into Beth Joke of the Week on that one.
I don't know
Joke,
if I can
joke of
top.
the week.
Joke
I
of the
don't
week.
know if I can
Joke of the week.
top that
Beth,
other stuff.
Beth.
Well,
Beth.
you can't,
Joke
but
of the
you could
week.
try. You could
Yeah,
just.
I can't.
You can't, but it's worth
Okay.
going through. Go
All
on.
right.
Get
it
your
go.
book out. Get
I
your
has
book out.
I has
This
my
is-
book out. You like my
Remind
Get
us.
your book out.
Remind us
Get your
again,
book
Beth.
out.
What's the book called? I know you just.
It's the really stupid joke book, and they are very very silly joke books jokes. Okay, yeah. So I'll open to a random page.
Random
And
page.
all right, random page here. I don't know, who did I ask last time? Was it 3D? I asked you, Steve. What?
Okay.
6. All right, pick one number between 1 and 11.
12. No.
12. All right,
No.
12.
Against
Against the system.
9.
9.
9.
9.
9. All right. Let's get to it. How do you make an elephant sandwich? First of all, you get a very large loaf. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
it.
Wow.
I hope someone gave you that book and you didn't buy it. But
I don't know where it came from. I just found it in my room.
Good,
so
you found it.
Just teleported in there one day. Cursed book.
The...
I don't. That's just.
I love. Oh, that's brilliant. I love it. I found it. Oh, okay. That's as always. Then we come to the end of the podcast when we get to the Beth's Joke of the Week. So I just want to say to you both, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you, Mr. Steve.
Thank you, Mr.
Again,
Steve.
another great podcast as always, if I do say so myself. So
Yeah.
just before we do end, do we have any sort of like socials where people can find you? Like, is there anything you want to mention? Are you going to be streaming anytime soon?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll jump in with this one.
yeah.
I finally got my YouTube URL. So you can now
Nice.
find me on
Woo!
YouTube,
Nice. Congrats.
YouTube
Congrats.
/ TheFreedyShow. And obviously you'll find me at the moment on Twitch, twitch.tv / TheFreedyShow. And I have recently launched my own podcast every Friday called The FreedyCast at 9 p.m. GMT, and also availability on Thursdays as well, depending if I can get people in, or maybe Sunday, depending on what guest I can get in. But I am just to quickly point out, although we are always looking for guests on the Bits and Pieces podcast, you're also welcome to join me as well on the Fridays. I will talk about not just in the Bits and Pieces podcast. It's mainly gaming focused. My podcast covers all things like Amber Heard and Amber
Okay.
Turd and
I might
what
have
and
to
what have
join
you.
you. I might
So
have to join you.
I'm very social on topics, and plus I want to talk about people's experiences life, real life spooky stuff as well. Anything basically. It's just anything and everything until I find exactly what I'm looking for. So yeah, and gaming wise, I'm going to be playing The Witcher 3 as much as possible. We're going to be doing the DLC, the Hearts of Stone next week.
Oh, nice,
Yeah.
nice. Okay,
That's it.
nice,
Mic drop.
nice.
I'm out.
Mic drop.
Beth,
No.
you're not streaming?
I'm not joking. I'm
All
joking.
right. Okay.
No, that's kind of like a reference to the trial where
Oh.
the lawyer asked the the
That's not correct.
psychiatrist, and she was like, she said something, and the lawyer I can't remember her name, just said no. Yes, no.
No.
You know. Anyway, I'm gonna try and be streaming next week. Not
Wait,
sure when.
let me stop you there. That's
What?
not correct. That's not correct. Hearsay.
Hearsay
Objection.
Objection, Your Honor.
I'll allow it.
I know, right?
Sorry, Beth,
Hardly overrules stuff. Anyway, I'll be streaming. I'm gonna aim for either a Wednesday or Friday next week. Probably play either Beat Saber or maybe Vampire or something else.
Ooh,
I don't really know yet, but I would like to play more Vampire. Is that how you say it?
It's
Vampire.
the spelling of
Or-
it. Oh, I think it's vampire, but the spelling of it gives you the impression that that's how you should pronounce it. So that's how I think that's how I pronounced it when I started playing it as well. But it's a very good game,
Vampire.
very good game, and I'll be
Vampire.
interested in hearing your thoughts about it. I know I did
Yes.
spotlight it, but yeah, it's always
Did you spotlight it?
Yeah,
I need
yeah.
to play
We can
it.
always
I need to
come
watch it.
back. We can always come back to it. That's fine. And I love to
Oh,
hear
yeah, sure.
people's thoughts on it. We did it with Road 69. Oh,
We did.
96.
We did. We did
Yeah.
it twice.
Yeah. Same.
So-
Did you say 69?
I did,
Oh.
yeah. I fell into that trap that even
69's on the brain already,
e-
Steve.
They did it already.
even when Jenny was on the show and he said I
He
didn't
said
want to fall
69,
I didn't
didn't he?
want to fall into that trap of and I did the same
I bet they
thing.
did that on purpose. They did that on purpose.
Summer of 69.
Summer of 69. Yeah.
Yeah, so aiming for Wednesday, Beat Saber, Vampire, whatever you want to
Yeah.
call it.
You saying vampire? I say vampire.
I said Vampire. Vampire, whatever.
Tomato, tomato.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you can catch me on Twitch, PizzaBeth. That's where I am, and
Woohoo!
yeah,
Pizza of the Beth.
that's where the Pizza of the Beth is, with her extraordinarily funny joke book.
Level 999 Dark Souls boss, Pizza of the Beth.
69.
Hey!
Wait. Oh dear. Right.
That's exactly what she said.
As
Well, he could say it too, but anyway.
as for me, I will be streaming this weekend. I didn't stream today. Normally I stream on a Saturday and Sunday. I have just started a new job, so next week will be a podcast, but I'm hoping it's still going to be Saturday. If it isn't, I'll keep you up to date with that. I will keep you up to date. For people listening right now, the episode 27 will happen. Yeah, I have been told that I still continue to do Saturdays and Sundays as a day off. So we're not professional streamers, so we're not in that category of being pro streamers.
Yeah.
So I have to work. We all have to work. We earn money elsewhere. Otherwise, I'd love to be able to say to you 100%. At the moment, I could say to you about 70%. I will be back. The podcast will be back again next week. But
yes,
it might not be a Saturday. But anyway,
at some point, that's next
it will be next week. I will continue to stream this weekend. Sundays normally 3 till 6, and then I'll do a late till late, and I can do a little bit later this week because I'm off Monday. So to make up for the lack of content from today, I will stream again on Monday as a rarity because it is for us a bank holiday Monday. So yeah, that would be me. And yeah, I will. I'll be back. I'll be on the weekend, and as I said, the podcast will return again next week.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Otherwise, you can Twitter me at FunnyBitsB, or yeah, twitch.tv/FunnyBitsBoi. And of course, don't forget, give Freddy's podcast a listen as well. It's very good. You want to jump in on it? Give it
Yeah.
give it a listen as well. So yeah, anything with any of the socials that we've got, I will add in the description as always with the new URL for Freddy's YouTube channel as well. So that will be
Nice.
in there as well. Well done on that milestone of 100. Get Freddy to 200 followers on Twitch. Get us all to sort of like, some
Yeah, get
milestone.
everyone to 200. Beth 500 or 600. I can't remember how many you got.
I don't need any more followers. I just need viewership. That's
Subscribers
all I
then.
need.
Let's get you to 100 subscribers on
So-
on YouTube then.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So yeah.
Oh wait, what? What are we
click
talking about? YouTube or Twitch?
Twitch, both, everything.
Oh,
Get
okay.
us those. Just follow us all. Just give us all a
so
massive
if
boost.
you-
Come on.
I think I have a grand total of 1 subscriber. No, actually, I think it's.
We got
2.
11.
Oh, I got 11.
Hey.
Oh, that's.
Yeah, the reason I
not
know
bad.
that is because I have you as my friends at the bottom of the page.
Oh,
All right.
So I have you all like your subscriber count underneath where
Yay.
your links to your channels on my YouTube.
Nice.
okay, nice.
Yeah, so
Okay,
there,
cool.
all of our all of our links, to all of our channels, all of our Twitter feeds, anywhere like that, you can find it in the bottom of the description of any of the podcasts, and you can find them on SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Now Music, and even on Amazon's Audible as well, because that comes out as a weekly thing. I usually release the podcast on a Sunday, so as soon as this podcast ends on a Saturday, you'll get next week. You'll get it should be available from Sunday usually. I try to be consistent with that as much as I can. But yeah, that's me done. That's us done. Episode
Yeah, we're
26 has
done.
come to an end. Join us next time for episode 27, where we'll be talking more games and more topical stuff, I guess. Maybe.
Yeah, all scripted. We have.
all
Yeah.
We're
completely
very prepared.
well,
Very
Sticking to the script like the company's doing up.
Yeah.
oh, dear. But that's it.
All
That's
right.
us done. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you again next week. Thanks.
Bye,
Bye for
everyone.
now. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. And scene. And scene. Yeah.